Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run for the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, as it is going to remain very warm and dry over the next 2 days. And as we head into Sunday, it's still going to be very warm, but we do bring a significant risk of showers and thunderstorms, especially in the south and west, as we start to see low pressure pushing in, increasing that instability. As I said, at the moment, it's the south and the west that are in prime position for those thunderstorms, and there is still big uncertainty about the evolution of those storms, how complex they will be, how large, how intense, and of course the timings, because if they come at 6, 7, 8 p.m. in the evening, then it will be past the day and you could probably have a decent Sunday. But some runs like the UKV today are producing them more towards the middle of the afternoon, so it could mean that Sunday, even though the morning, early afternoon might be nice and dry, the afternoon and evening could be pretty soggy for many. Now, unfortunately, when this thundery breakdown comes on Sunday into Monday, it is going to bring us a big change. We're going to be going much more unsettled, and it is going to be turning cooler. We're not going cold or anything really below average. It's still looking average to above average, but we are going to see a lot of rain, which means the temperatures will drop quite a bit down towards the mid to high teens, and we're likely to see lots of showers as we do see low pressure parked on top of us. There are tentative signs in the longer term that high pressure could return, but at the moment low pressure is looking favoured in that medium to longer range. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. And remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, if you start on the live radar, you can see for most it is very warm and dry today, and will remain that way, as said, for the next couple of days. Still got a bit of rain across the far north of Scotland and the western areas, as we are seeing a bit of a weather front still skirting the coast as it does ride around the higher pressure. But unfortunately, these areas, this is the sort of thing that can happen this time of year when we do see weather fronts bumping into higher pressure. But for most, it has been very warm and very dry, and you can see the temperatures even at 8 p.m. this evening are still towards the 20-degree mark across much of England and Wales, into the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and even into southern Scotland there. Coastal areas inevitably are going to be cooler. The sea surface temperatures are still chilly off the back of winter. They're still, or they're not going to get to their warmest probably until September. So there's always that sort of time lag of a couple of months where the sea surface temperature reflects the weather that we saw a month or two ago. So it's still reflecting the conditions we saw in March, whereas, as I said, the peak temperatures are in September, which is, generally a couple of months after our peak land temperatures. So unfortunately, that means that, especially this time of year, the early part of summer and late spring, we can see cool conditions from a sea breeze. So that's why you can see a little area of blue or yellow for coastal regions. And if we go over to net weather, you can see the top temperatures today around the 22 to around the 24. And you see a lot of these observations around the 3 to 5 p.m. points. You see the heat really building through the day, and it's likely to increase further tomorrow by maybe a degree or two. If you have watched all the videos through this week, we've had a look at these top temperatures pretty much every day, and you can see that Monday, Tuesday started around 19, 20, towards Wednesday, yesterday up towards 22, 23, and now today up towards 23, 24. So slowly increasing, and they could peak this weekend around 27. Maybe on Saturday, potentially on Sunday as well, but that will all depend on the thunderstorm timings. If you look at the latest UKV now, you can see through the rest of this evening the rain across northern Scotland will move away, and actually even for those areas in Scotland where it's been a bit wetter, it is going to be sunny and dry. So temperatures here likely to get towards the 20-degree mark as well. As we head into Saturday, it remains very warm and dry. We do see a few pop-up thunderstorms breaking out across northern England and southern Scotland. Again, big uncertainty about the extent and intensities of these storms, but from the looks of this latest UKV run, they do look very much pop-up storms, potentially coming slightly more organised through the afternoon before dissipating away into the evening. As we head into Sunday, you can see initially it's dry and warm, but you can see a bit of rain moving in from the west, and that's the instability. And then as we head into the middle of the afternoon, you can see bands of showers, intense showers and thunderstorms breaking out, especially across parts of Western England, Wales, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, and even into Scotland as well. And this is simply where the instability is hitting the warm air. And you can see here they really pop out of nothing, starting around midday and going through to 3 p.m. before slowly dissipating away into the evening. Now, it could be briefly drier through Monday evening, but we do start to see a proper weather front arrive. No more thunderstorms, maybe a few on the leading edge, but really just lots of heavy rain through much of Monday into Tuesday and continuing as we probably head into Wednesday and Thursday as well. So, big change coming as we head into Monday. Thunderstorms through Sunday, but much cooler, and turning a lot more unsettled as we head into next working week. And the reasons for this, so if we look at the pressure, high pressure over top of us at the moment, very spread out isobars, light winds, warm upper air temperatures that we'll look at in a minute. And you can see the high pressure continues to dominate through the next few days. But as we head into Saturday and into Sunday, the high pressure, the reds and oranges, moves eastwards, and we start to see the pressure dropping, and eventually low pressure arrives from the west, and that gives us very unsettled and thundery conditions through Monday, for Sunday through to Tuesday. And you can see the same with the upper air temperatures, very warm through Saturday, a good 5 degrees above average, but the warmth at the surface actually more than 5 degrees above average, and that's because we're seeing it build day on day. The power of consecutive days of above average temperatures just allows that heat to the surface to maintain itself. But you can see as we head into Monday, fresher air arrives. It's still generally around average or maybe slightly above average, but it is fresher, more Atlantic driven, so much more moisture around, and that's why we can see lots of rain, and it is going to turn a little bit cooler. As I said, by no means is it going to be cold, it's just not going to be 25 degrees. Temperatures you can see into the early 20s or low 20s, today, likely to rise higher tomorrow. Could even get towards 24, 25 possibly. It looks like the UKV's being maybe a degree or so under what we've seen in reality. Some of the looks of this definitely looking at 25 degrees tomorrow. As we head into Saturday, a pretty mild night where we see some cloud, and into the afternoon again looking at 24 to 26, maybe even a 27. And then as we head into Sunday, it'll be even warmer at midday. Look at that, 24, 25, or even 26. Could even reach 27. But look at those temperatures starting to dip in the west. And that's as those thunderstorms moving in. So they do get a little bit more delayed. Could see a 27, 28 more widely. But if they are progressive or more progressive, then unfortunately, it could cool it down quite significantly through the evening. As we head into Monday, we still could be warm in the east, still could see 19, 20 degrees, but much more widely it's back towards average or below average. And the same could be said for Tuesday. Could get up towards 17, 18 degrees, which generally around average for the time of year, but areas with rain and cloud more likely to be in the teens or even low teens, unfortunately. Now, do go over to the latest GFS now and see what the longer term prospects are. You see the high pressure's in control at the moment. It looks like we're going to see summery weather forever. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Low pressure pushing in through Monday into Tuesday and sitting over the top of us for much of next working week. Eventually, it dissipates away, and this is where we start to see tentative signs of high pressure trying to build in. But to be honest, little cut-off lows, upper troughs are never too far away. And that means even though it could be periodically drier, we are likely to still see plenty of showers. And with warmer air masses mixing in, especially in that longer term, with warmer air masses over the Mediterranean and Europe getting drawn up ahead of low pressure systems, there could be further thunderstorms. If we do move back to the United Kingdom and actually have a look at the Cape in the shorter term, I do just want to go to this weekend. You can see actually pretty significant Cape there through Sunday. Again, lots of energy available for the thunderstorms to develop up and down the country. The Cape drops as we do see less in terms of warmth, but still moderate amounts around, especially for the afternoons. So I wouldn't be surprised to see further outbreaks of storms in that medium to longer range as well. You can see plenty of little outbreaks, nothing too major in the longer term, but definitely enough to mean showers could be pretty intense. If you look at the GM, again, high pressure in control, low pressure pushing in for the weekend and dominating much of next working week, and actually all the way through to next weekend, low pressure is continuing to push in off the Atlantic with pretty strong westerly winds. Really doesn't look particularly great. Yeah, does look pretty miserable indeed. If we now look at the ECMWF, again, high pressure building in, low pressure coming in off the Atlantic into next week, eventually getting squeezed away, but still sitting just 2 hours south. So at day 10, it is turning drier and starting to turn warmer, but there's still a little bit of low pressure around to our south, so still could be a few showers spiraling around, but much more positive than definitely the GM and even the GFS. Now to finish by looking at the latest ensembles, the latest GFS you can see well above average, a good 5+ degrees above average over the next few days, and then a substantial drop back towards average, and you can see it's hovering around average for the foreseeable future. Quite an increase in precipitation as well into next week, and that's kind of going what we've seen through this video is unsettled conditions returning and no real major shift in that medium to longer range. There definitely will be changes around. It won't be this sort of stationary or hovering around average, and we won't just see constant precipitation, or at least very unlikely. It will sort of even out. Some days will be quite a lot of precipitation, other days will be drier. But the overall trend is for generally unsettled and cool conditions. And the reason is high pressure at the moment, dropping into Monday and Tuesday, and then slowly recovering in the longer term, but never really getting towards dominant high pressure, and that's why that showery signal still continues. Seeming temperatures very warm, and then a big drop towards the mid-teens, but hovering around the mid to high teens throughout the rest of May, really. So nothing too bad, but definitely not as good as it has been the past few days, and will be the next 2 or 3 days. And if we finish by looking at the ensembles from the ECMWF, very similar actually. Above average at the moment, big drop towards average and hovering around average for the foreseeable future, and then plenty of precipitation around as well. So both GFS and ECMWF fairly in sync. They've actually been fairly in sync for the past few weeks, so pretty positive cross-model consensus there in these sort of scenarios. As I said, unfortunately, it is looking like it's going to deteriorate again around the middle of the month, but fingers crossed, things do get a little bit better. Seems like we're just going from one extreme to the other. It was cool and wet towards the second half of April. Now as we head into early May, it's turned warm and dry, and as we head into the middle of May, it's going to turn cooler and unsettled once again. It kind of can't really get any sort of equilibrium anywhere in the middle, where we do see dry conditions, also some showery days. Can't really get anything in the middle at the moment. It looks like it's either warm or dry, or it's going unsettled again. As you can see, next week, low pressure is going to park itself over the top of us. Well, I doubt many areas will see a completely dry day at all next week. But of course, we'll have to wait and see. Just as I said, make sure you enjoy the next few days. So as I said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.